Are you a rapid moviegoer and you've watched a couple movies that kinda stumped you? Have you watched a movie that just left you scratching your head and wonder, what was that? If any of that sounds like you, stay on the line. Soon we'll have a special report from somebody who will give you their own opinion about what they thought of the A24 movie, The Backrooms. Welcome. Welcome to all those people with questions of the movie they just watched. My name is Mr. Big M. If you click this wondering about the A24 movie of The Backrooms, I welcome you. My only payment I take is to like, comment, and subscribe. And of course, because 99% of you... Oh my god. This is stupid. I hate when people do that though. I hate that 99% thing. Oh, I can think of a better way to do this. I don't want to be all fake looking like this after a fake commercial and all that stuff. Let's just figure something. Let's just figure something else. Well, that was weird. Hi there. My name is Mr. Big M. As you heard before, and I really enjoyed the Backrooms movie. Honestly, personally, I would give it probably an 8 out of 10. It was not the most amazing movie I've ever seen, but I'm very much loving that we are finally getting some creepypastas and stuff like that. Love making movie for them. I love that we're finally doing that. My friend, Namak Wilds, gave it a 9.5 out of 10, and it's doing pretty good in the box office from what I'm seeing, so I know that it is doing well enough. But I do feel like so many people are not going to watch it. Because I used to be one of those people. I used to be scared of, horror movies. Or I just would like to see them, but I just didn't have enough money to go and watch it. And I didn't really want to go do the illegal thing. So I would watch videos like this, explaining some of their thoughts, a bit of the story, and things like that. And that's really what I'm going to try to do here. I'm going to describe the characters, give you a quick synopsis, and of course, explain other things I've noticed in the story as of late. So kick back, relax. I hopefully will just get you out of here within 15-20 minutes, or maybe longer. There are about 4 to 5 different characters, which all do something well enough. And I'm going to explain them from least to most important. But one thing I do love about this movie, even though there's a very small cast of people that do a bit of talking in it, there's not one big crowd shot in the entire movie. It all feels very lonely. And there is like one crowd shot where there's a party going on, but even then it's only for about 3 minutes and you just leave straight into a different room. And that's something I really love about this movie. These characters all feel real on why they would even go into the back rooms, and their backstories seem very interesting to me. So I'm going to start off with one that might seem a little bit lackluster, but he's a very funny guy. We'll be talking about...
Alright, you filming? Yes.
Bobby is just a funny fellow with a camera, like someone else I know. But no, he's just a chill dude with a camera, and I feel very connected to him. And I know he's like high half the time, but he looks very fun. And I know he's just really there just to help out his girlfriend, Kat. And Kat She's pretty. And she's the assistant manager of the Captain Clark's Ottoman Empire, which we will dive into very much soon enough. But she's also the most reasonable person in the entire movie, TBH. Like, she's the only one that wants to get the hell out of the back rooms. So I really like her. I enjoyed her company before they got her.
We gotta get out of here!
Mary. I'd say she is the second most important character in the entire movie. She's a therapist with a terrible childhood, a mother that had to be institutionalized, and she's also kind of somebody trying to ground Clark as he's trying to explore the horrors for no really good reason. But she is somebody that brings a lot to the table. And they're very good actors. Everybody in this movie has been a very, very good actor. But there is one character left that is the most important. And for a lot of the movie, we are going through his own POV. Then there's Clark. My goat. Aww. Not really. Clark is the owner, operator, and basically everything else to the furniture store of Captain Clark's Ottoman Empire. And he is a educated architect. Make sure to remember that because he will not let you forget that.
I am a fucking architect! God, I'm just not selling shit!
And really right now, he's not going through the best time in his life. He is separated from his wife. He's living at this job that he hates. Bad news, he doesn't like being a captain. And he's really just generally miserable, which really sucks. But instead of accepting his lot in life and trying to get better, he's kind of angry, rageful. This flaw is eventually going to be pushed more and more until eventually he's consumed by it. Clark isn't a good person. He's not somebody that you hate. I don't personally hate him that much, but he's not evil, even though he does bad things. There's a point where you start to not like him, but really where he's at now, I don't hate Clark that much. He's stubborn and desperate, looking for something more in life. And I feel like we've all been a type of Clark in our lives, or have met a type of Clark in our lives. But really, all those flaws and everything like that probably makes him the best candidate for being appealed to the backrooms. Ad break. I actually have an ad. But I am drinking a Dr. Oh fuck! Oh god! Just spilled all over my desk. If you're thirsty, drink that. I guess. It mostly tastes like to me. It tastes like cherry Coke. It doesn't even taste like Dr. Pepper. It tastes like a cherry Coke to me. I didn't like Dr. Pepper when I was a kid, though. So you know, even though I'm from Texas, so let's go back to that story. It's over. After introduction to all the characters and understanding some of their ideas of life and what's going on that makes them tick, the story follows Mr. Clark discovering the entrance to the backrooms at the basement of his furniture store. Well, not really basement, it's just sort of beneath part. And he explores it. Honestly, that's it. Honestly, that's the entire plot of the movie. Much like many other backrooms things in the past, most of it just compiles to going into the backrooms and exploring. And we already talked about he hates his job, separated from his wife, and he's living in the store, consumed his entire life. He uses it as a way to escape, and eventually falls more and more and more into this mental head rush of being in the back rooms. And I was like, as I was writing this out and I was thinking about this, there is no upside to this. to BH. Like, I've looked at theories that they think like, oh, he's actually going to like renovate it and use it as like a make his own city or something like that. But that's mostly after he goes crazy, which he's not that far from going crazy in the first place. There is no upside. He's really just doing it for the love of the game. And unfortunately, this obsession does drag other people into it. An attempt to prove that what he's found to Mary, and he's not freaking crazy, because, well, I also forgot to add that he's alcoholic. He employs Bobby and Kat to get some proof to show his therapist and whatever else, but that really leads them both to their death, sadly enough. After that, he calls Mary to explain what the hell's going on. That he's not coming back, that window's open, and now he's finally going to be stuck here in the Backrooms forever. But something seems, at least to me, it seems a little bit strange to me that he just calls her, even though he was in there for God knows how long, maybe a month or so. And it really feels like he's trying to drag more people into the Backrooms. Well, naturally, because Mary is a therapist and is scared for the well-being of Clark, she does go into the Backrooms to find him. And eventually that does lead us into more of a better explanation of what the hell is the Backrooms. Monsters are a bit strange in the Backrooms, and I can't do service of explaining what they are. So I'm going to let Clark explain his best idea of what the monsters are.
This place builds them, or actually more like remembers them, and the more times it remembers them, the less it does. Somewhere out there's a guy with a striped shirt, but in here he's remembered just slightly wrong. Somewhere out there's a man in a wheelchair, in a lamp. I'm pretty sure that's how you get all this, all these places and rooms and buildings misremembering themselves.
I know people have mixed feelings about the monsters in this movie, on how it's explained, what they are, how they look, but really to me, I really enjoyed it. It shows the best idea of what makes people enjoy the Backrooms. It's a saying that mostly everybody felt like they've been there before in their dreams and their memories. Hell, even my mom said that same thing when she looked into the Backrooms. She didn't want to watch it because she's always had these dreams about being in her house and rooms are closed off, the devil's in there, the ghost, and everything just looks a little bit off. And I've had the same thing before. It's really just being a dead horse, but I think it really does lean into that by making the Backrooms into a landscape of memories, a mental landscape. I really love the idea of it. But every memory holds some sort of emotion by it. All the monsters, lack of better words for them, are also called still lives of different people in life. They all do different things. Some of them just stand there, some of them just look, and a few seem to be a bit violent. Throughout the movie, no one really carries more emotional baggage other than Clark. And if every memory does hold emotion to it, what if you just make it full of rage? After everything the last year, we've talked about it ad nauseum of what has happened to him, collecting itself into one being by the name of Captain Clark.
Yo, I'm here for the birthday party. Whoop whoop. Where's the cake?
A towering figure made from this pirate mascot of his failures and frustrations. Yet weirdly, he doesn't feel angry in the normal sense. Like when you think of somebody that's angry, you think of somebody that's rageful, yelling at you. When you look at it, it seems sad. Of course, that could be simply just because how still lives look. If you look at the other ones, they don't really have that much emotion in their face. But most of the time, their faces are a little bit wonky. They seem to have emotions still through actions. Like the redheaded still life, she ran when Captain Clark came. And of course, Mr. Archibald, the fella in the wheelchair, likes to click on and off his lamp. But Captain Clark communicates with actions in a much different way. Most of his actions involve violence. Weirdly enough, this violence has only been seen against living things, not against any still lives. Weirdly enough, it has not affected the real Clark yet. There might be something there that he knows that they're the same person, that they hold the same pain, and there might be something where he's just also the idea of Clark is in his mind and they know they're both the same person. But Clark eventually reaches a breakthrough from Mary where he finally understands that all the problems in his life are his own problems that he has done to himself. Which we've all needed to hear this thing before. If you have some problem in your life, a lot of it can be chalked up to you putting yourself in that situation. But for Clark and Captain Clark, it seems like it was not a good thing to find it out there. Decided to himself that he's not going to change. He goes up to Captain Clark and explains that there needs to be nothing changed in his life. And Captain Clark, made from the rage of being stuck in a situation that he hates so much, kills him. Very violently. Leaving Mary with this creature that she eventually has to escape into reality? Question mark, really? We don't know if she actually escapes. There's also a company that's very connected to the movie called Async, and they're a bit different. They're more connected to the web series that I didn't watch personally because it was too scary when it came out, and I was too scared. But really, that's just how the movie went. It was a very good movie. But now we're going to talk about some of the thoughts and theories that people have had. Now that you know the basics of the story, and I'll just want to talk about some of the theories that I've had my own and people have talked about in the past. Firstly, I will talk about a symbolism that I saw at the beginning of the movie. And I personally call this the albatross theory. It's not really a theory, it's just a sort of symbolism that I've heard before and seen before. It originally comes from this poem of like the Ancient Mariner. It's talking about this guy who kills a albatross, dooming his ship to be stuck at sea forever. But I also had this thought from the lighthouse.
Fortnite.
Which was killing a seabird is very bad luck. In the beginning of the movie, a async employee dies. But before we see him die, we see that a seabird is left in the backrooms. Eventually, you do see it later that the seabird has died. I'm not saying seabird, it was a seagull. And I think that's just another symbolism that whoever comes into the backrooms is doomed to be dead. We know they live I'm pretty sure they live somewhere near California, and they live near the beach with all the seagulls that are running around. And Captain Clark, the backrooms in the web series has been said before to be some sort of sea never ends. I think that's just something that has also been said once before, that once you go into the backrooms, you are lost forever. At least I think so. Next up, I'm going to talk about, I don't know what I will call this, but this is something that I've been thinking about of the effects of the backrooms on people's brains. As I said before, I think the movie is showing that the backrooms are less of a physical space and more of a mental landscape that you can join that affects people mentally. In fact, I think this shows with another character that I have not touched upon yet, by the name of Phil. He is a employee at this async company. He just seems to be a normal man. He has a family, kids, and a nice job. But But I think there might be something more to his mind than we are led to believe that's been brought up from the ending when he has a conversation with Mary. On the surface, he seems quite normal, but there's sometimes the words that just gel well with my thoughts of him. When interacting with Mary, he explains that backrooms are one of the greatest discoveries in human history, and he would do anything to learn more about what lies beneath it. This curiosity and obsession reminds me a lot of Clark. And I feel like a lot of these people start to have this similar ideas in their brain. It seems like there might be some sort of strange effect that this has on people that even just peer into the backrooms or hell even walk in it. It might just be that people just find it in there, just seem to have the same headspace. But there's one character that something that reminds me, a theory going around that she was also a backrooms victim. Mary's mother. We could see through Mary's backstory that she was paranoid. She would lock her and Mary inside the house to not let anybody come in, no light even, no anybody even been seen, until she was eventually institutionalized. I don't know what this means for the people, and it might just be a way to show that Mary has just a problem with people with mental issues in her past, and that's why she became a therapist. And it might be a bit of a stretch, but I think if that's true and she is actually a backrooms victim, then it seems like a lot of people that even peer into it, see it, or even are affected by it are eventually done in mentally. They're affected some way, and they don't just come out the same person as they did coming in. In conclusion to everything I've talked about, the Backrooms movie was not a perfect movie. I'll give it that. I will say that. People have said in the past that they hated it, or that it was too slow, or that they just didn't understand what was going on. I personally really loved it. It might just be my personality, though. I do love the Absolute Martian Manhunter comics. I have one right over there. I love the abstract ideas and weird art that people bring out into the world, and I love the idea of the backrooms. I know it's been kind of like kidify. A lot of kids like it. Hell, my 12-year-old cousin, last time I saw him, he was watching a video on it, and I was like, oh my god, really? But it was really fun. I really enjoyed the movie, and I really hope Kane Pixels has more movies in the future with this similar aesthetic. It was very beautifully shot, and I think there was a lot more under the surface that brought it to life well enough. And I'm very glad that for most people, it does explain the idea of it throughout the movie. I've heard both sides of the argument. People did not like it. People thought it was too shallow. People just thought it just looked pretty, but I really enjoyed the movie. My friends enjoyed the movie, and I had a really great time. So, thank you for watching this video. I put a lot of time and effort in it, taking the better part of a week to understand what I was doing. But I'm very glad that you were here to watch it. So, if any more questions or thoughts or opinions, like now, put in the comments. And if you want to see any more from me, just tell me. I have no way to end this off, but thank you.